Okay, this is just to show you guys how your full bag should look like. I don't want any surprises or questions. I just left it into, put it in the fold of the paper. But this is how it should look like. You should have notches on your waist. You should have the notches on the armhole. Who's missing though right now? Okay. And you should have a notch in the center back, but only at the top. We're gonna do 5/8 hemline like we did on the dress. We're gonna finish the bottom the same with the rolled hem the same way. Okay? So this is just to show you the back. The back is done. We're getting it out of here. So going back to the front. This is what I did before. I place it face down and put the paper face up and made a copy. The reason for that is so you will end up having a right and a left. If you just put the paper on top of it, you're gonna have two for the same side, okay? And now that we have it like this, let's go ahead and label it correctly so we will not get confused. Whenever you look at any pattern pieces, I don't want anybody to have that question. Is it right when you have it on or when I'm looking at it? So in fashion, it always is as you have it on. Okay, so there is no question about it. So there is no confusion. Because confusion can make mistakes and mistakes cost money. Okay, so if I have it on, this is my right. So this would be right, front. And then this is going to be left, front. Okay? So, have you guys noticed that ladies' clothes go from left to right and men's clothes go from right to left? Have you ever noticed that? Okay. So look at my jacket. It goes from the left on top of the right. Do you have buttons in your jacket? Bettina, come on. Let's compare us. Let's do a Napoleon thing. You put one button and put your hand like me. See that she has the opposite hand? Okay? Very important that we understand that. Women's clothes are done this way. Pants are the same way, except your blue jeans are coming from your boyfriend jeans. So they're gonna have the fly like men. Thank you. We got a model. Thank you. All right, so very important that we understand that, okay? Now, women will be more open into having different ways. Men will get all confused, okay? Because men out there, they are very...
Subconscious. They're very confused, right?
No, they're very unsure about their sexuality. So that's why they are very worried that it's going to make them look something that they're not. Okay? I'm just being blunt about it. Okay, so let me explain really quick. So,
I felt like you were very delicate about it.
Anyway, so let me ask you ladies, only the ladies here for a second. If you have a side zipper on your dress, which side of your body is your side zipper? Huh? The what?
Left.
The left. Look, the jacket that she crossed went from right to left. That's why your zipper is on your left side. Okay? If it would be men, it would be the opposite side. But it doesn't happen because men have different plumbing and they need to open on the front. Okay? Women have no issues taking their jumpsuits off and their pants off to go to the bathroom. Men are lazy. Okay? And I'm a man, and I can tell you this. We're lazy. We don't worry about it. We try to find fabrics that don't wrinkle because we would never press. Women have no problem pressing, right? Anyway, so besides that, so we need to understand that a shirt is going to come. Oh, she's wearing a jacket. She would have been our model today. right? So jackets, pants, blouses, shirts, they always go from right to left. If we were making men's, you would go from left to right. So with that said, if it goes from right to left, on the right side is where we're gonna have the placket, and then on the left side is where we're not gonna have the placket. So if we look at the shirt, this placket that we have here on the left, because this is a men's shirt, should be on the right side. And this that doesn't have the little tuckings on it will be on the right side, okay? But for now, let's start with the easy one. Let's leave the right front aside for a minute, which is gonna have those little pleats, and we're gonna do the left side, okay? So, we extended it 3/4 of an inch, correct? So if I need to extend on the opposite side, once it is sewn, it would be sewn right here. So this would be the width of our placket, correct? Just for demonstration purposes, I'm doing this. This measures 1.5 inches. I'm going to add another 1.5 inches. And I'm going to go ahead and add my 1/2 inch seam allowance because I just want to show you how is it going to sew. And because of that, we need to arrange the top and the bottom for the notches. So this is the center front. We marked 3/4 and 3/4, making the full placket. We measure a second time the placket and then the 1/2 inch seam allowance. Okay? So if I were to have seam allowance here at the bottom, okay, I'm gonna have a notch right here, and this will be my seam allowance. Are we okay so far? Same goes for the top. We're gonna have a notch right here and right here. So for folding part purposes, I'm gonna cut at the edge of the seam allowance. And I'm gonna pretend that this is fabric and I'm gonna fold it. This is actually, oh, let me save my measurement of my neck. This is not on purpose. This is just because I wrote my measurements. Then you guys are gonna do the same thing that you did with the other dress. Okay, so if I were to sew this, I would fold my fabric the wrong way. I'm going to fold the 1/2 inch of the seam allowance, and I will go to the iron and I will press this. And then I'm going to fold it on the placket width. Nice? So when we're gonna stitch right on the edge, right here, and this side is finished. But when we get into this side, I need to have the tracing wheel, and I need to copy the shape of the neck. So when my pattern is actually open, you can see that this is curving up again. And then coming down like this. So we're gonna have a notch right here, a notch right here, and the seam allowance. After this, then we're going to add half an inch seam allowance, 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 and 5/8 at the bottom. This side is finished. Obviously, we need to make a clean copy of this. Are we all okay?
When you tracing wheel the neck, how come you don't do that to the bottom half?
Because the bottom was squared off. It's a square off line. You could use the tracing wheel, but it's going to be a straight line. That's why I didn't bother with it. Okay? Sorry, thank you for the question because I took it for granted since I've been doing this for like 3 seconds. So let's do the other side. Now we're going to do the right front. So let's spell it correctly. Okay? Remember, this is the center front line. To this, we added 3/4 and 3/4 to both sides. But I'm going to create that little pleat that we have on the shirt. So what I'm going to do is from the center front, let's turn it over. It'll be easier for me to reach because I'm very tall. I'm going to measure the edge of the placket. So see, I'm measuring here 3/4 of an inch, correct? But I need to insert that little pinch. So look, I measured 3/4 of an inch in. Now from this line, I'm going to measure half an inch out. I know it might sound complicated, but once I pin it, you guys are going to get it a little better. This paper is too thin. I don't like it. Okay? Now, this is going to be the new edge of the placket. From here to here, we're going to create that little pleat. It's going to be folded. So now from this new line, now I'm going to measure 1.5 inches, and then 1.5 inches again, and then the half an inch for seam allowance. So I'm going to measure 1.5. Let me cross over. The original center front is ignored. Okay? And then I'm going to measure 1.5 again. And then I'm going to do the half an inch seam allowance. And like we did on the other one, I'm going to cut out the excess after the seam allowance so I can fold it again. Again, to answer the same question that you asked me earlier, the bottom, I'm just going to continue square it off evenly because I don't have a shape at the bottom. The top is the one that is important that we follow. So here at the bottom, we're going to continue the line straight across, and you're going to have a notch right here, and right here. Notice that in the front we had only 2 notches, on this one we have 3. We're good? Okay, so now let's get this ready. I'm going to turn it over. I'm not going to fold it on the seam allowance. I'm actually going to fold it at the first pleat. Now look at the interesting thing. The edge of the seam allowance is matching the end of the last extension. You see it? Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold this line into that line. So I'm not going to fold it on that line, I'm going to fold it in the center of that line. So this is actually going to be 1/4 of an inch. I'm going to now pin it. I'm not going to pin it all, I'm just going to pin a few so you guys can see the effect. And to make the pattern correctly, you do need to pin it because we're going to place the neckline again and we're going to retrace it because you guys are going to see that it actually got deformed. Okay? So I'm pinning along the line. Now watch this. When you open it up, see that we grabbed the 1/4 of an inch? We're going to fold it and push that out. See how it created that little extension? In this side, we're just going to top stitch it to mimic this on the other side. But as you can see, the neckline changed because we folded it in there. So we need to go back and we need to retrace the neckline from here. I'm just gonna put it on top. I'm gonna use the tracing wheel because I need to use the tracing wheel anyway. Thank you. So here, I know it sounds a little complicated, and I'm here to help you. Okay? So, where's the other one? Here. So from here to the end, it's going to be squared out. Now, when we take these pins off, this is where you're going to see the difference. Remember that seam allowance? It actually, the fabric got trapped on that pleat. See how clean it looks? So when we open it, and we need to retrace it back. You have a notch right here, you have a notch right here, you have a notch right here. So look at how the neckline goes. It goes rounded into a peak. You have a little corner right here, and then it goes around. Is that okay? Everybody okay? Do I need a defibrillator? Yes? Okay. You want to zoom it in so it's shown? At least it's on the video. Okay? Okay, so let's stop the video